With Durk's lawyers about to file a motion to dismiss, we thought the dust had settled in this case, but this just in, over 230 GB of raw footage and audio tapes have surfaced, some of which reveal Durk's involvement in a second murder-for-hire plot. This second murder case could elevate Durk's sentence from a life sentence to a death sentence. It's so crazy that even cooperating with the feds cannot help him anymore.
I feel like even if he snitch, he can't get up out of it. If they got him like that, I feel like even if he tell right now, he can't.
What secrets do these revelations hold? Could the evidence be actually legit? And the most interesting question of all, could Durk be getting the electric chair in the near future? Let's dig into it. The shocking Chicago murder allegations. For those who ain't been keeping up with the tea, Lil Durk, government name Durk Devontae Banks, got knocked back in October 2024 in Florida on some heavy federal charges connected to an alleged murder-for-hire situation targeting Quando Rondo. During a detention hearing on December 12, 2024, federal prosecutors threw a bomb in the courtroom by linking Durk to a second, uncharged murder-for-hire plot in Chicago. This other case involves the January 27, 2022, drilling of Stephon Mack, a 24-year-old alleged shot caller for the Smashville faction of the Gangster Disciples. The way Mac got bodied is wild. Homie was outside the Youth Peace Center of Roseland on 111th Street. Ironically, a spot that's supposed to be safe in a hood where shootings pop off regularly. Mac caught a headshot and a chest shot and was pronounced at the hospital. A 40-year-old security guard also caught a leg shot in the crossfire, but managed to pull through. Two Chicago dudes, Anthony Montgomery Wilson, 24, and Preston Powell, 23, caught charges in 2023 for Mac's murder. They were hit with conspiracy for allegedly drilling Mac for a bag. But the million-dollar question remained: who put the paper up? According to these newly unsealed federal documents, prosecutors think the money trace leads back to Durk. So what's the alleged motive behind this hit? The feds are saying Mac's body was ordered by Durk as get back for the June 2021 murder of his brother, Dante Banks, aka D-Thang. D-Thang, who was 32 when he got clapped, was fatally shot outside Club O, a strip joint in Harvey, Illinois, in the early morning of June 5, 2021. The scene was chaotic with multiple shooters letting off, and a Harvey police officer even caught a wound in a separate scuffle. The new receipts come from a warrant application filed in April 2023 that stayed sealed until December 11, 2024, conveniently just one day before Durk's detention hearing for the LA case. This paperwork contains some wild allegations that after his brother's murder, Durk was offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any gangster disciple that is killed. According to the FBI, the Smashville faction of the GD is believed to be behind D-Thang getting smoked, and Mac was allegedly running a set with ties to Smashville. The unsealed warrant application, backed by an affidavit from FBI Special Agent Thomas Callahan, alleges that Durk funded or orchestrated Mac's drilling as revenge for his brother's death, essentially putting a bounty on GD members' heads. What makes these allegations particularly spicy is the evidence that the FBI has stacked up. The investigation into Mac's murder connects Durk to Montgomery Wilson and Powell, the alleged triggermen, through multiple angles. We're talking text messages suggesting money was changing hands for the hit, intel from confidential informants, street snitches, analysis of phone records showing connections between Durk and the shooters, and perhaps most damning, social media posts, notably one asking, "Did Durk give you that money?" which prosecutors are reading as confirmation of payment for the body. Prosecutors have also pointed to bars from Durk's 2022 track, Aha, dropped on February 22, 2022, as potentially referencing Mac's murder. When Durk spits, "My brother D-Thang just got killed, and I've been slow since gang gang, but we got back on they ass. I bet they know this." The feds are interpreting this as Durk basically admitting to retaliating for D-Thang's death, possibly through Mac's murder. This use of lyrics as evidence is similar to what they're doing in the LA case, which has a lot of people in the culture concerned about artistic expression being twisted in court. On top of that, the FBI claims to have pics showing Durk with Montgomery Wilson, establishing a direct link between Durk and one of the alleged shooters. The exact content of these flicks hasn't been fully exposed in public reports. It's mad important to note that as of April 27, 2025, Durk hasn't been charged in connection with Mac's murder. The Tribune and other sources say the investigation is still active, but no indictment has dropped. The lack of charges highlights that these allegations are still preliminary, currently being used to make Durk look worse in the LA case, rather than as a standalone prosecution. Durk's legal squad, led by attorney Jonathan Brayman, has straight up denied any involvement in Mac's murder. During the December 2024 detention hearing, Brayman stated, "That's other people. Our client has nothing to do with that," emphasizing that Durk isn't charged charged in the Chicago case. The defense is arguing that prosecutors are using unproven allegations to poison the well in the LA case, where Durk is facing completely separate charges. Despite the lack of formal charges, these allegations have had serious consequences for Durk. At the December 12, 2024, detention hearing in Los Angeles, Assistant U.S. Attorney Ian Yaniello argued that Durk's alleged involvement in the Chicago drilling, combined with claims of bounties on others, demonstrates a pattern of dangerous behavior. U.S. Magistrate Judge Patricia Donahue agreed, denying Durk's request for a $3 million bond, essentially keeping him locked down while awaiting trial. The use of the Mac allegations in the LA case has legal experts side-eyeing the feds about whether uncharged conduct should be allowed in pretrial proceedings. Legal analysts say that these kinds of allegations can influence how judges see a defendant, even if they aren't directly related to the actual charges. The ongoing investigation into Mac's murder could potentially lead to future charges, making Durk's already complicated legal situation even more of a mess. Beyond the legal drama, the Mac case highlights the broader context of Chicago's gang violence epidemic. The Gangster Disciples, one of Chicago's largest and most notorious sets, have been connected to countless shootings across the South Side. The gang's structure, with multiple factions like Smashville operating in different hoods, creates both internal beef and external conflicts, as we see in the alleged situation between DT Thang and Mac's people. The fact that Mac got smoked outside a youth peace center is a tragic irony, showing how violence penetrates even spaces meant to provide safety for the community. These allegations against Durk also raise questions about the blurry line between his music career and alleged gang ties, with prosecutors suggesting that OTF functions as both a music label and a structured criminal organization. What makes the Chicago allegations particularly significant is that they potentially establish a pattern. If Durk really did orchestrate Mac's murder in January 2022 as revenge for his brother's death, it makes the prosecution's claim more believable that he later put a hit on Quando Rondo in August 2022 as revenge for King Von's death. Of course, it's crucial to remember that Durk hasn't been charged in the Mac case, and like all defendants, he's presumed innocent until proven guilty. The evidence cited by prosecutors, while looking sus, remains largely circumstantial. The reliance on informants and social media posts raises questions about the strength of the case, and specific details, such as the content of texts or the reliability of these snitches, are not publicly available. The use of lyrics as evidence is especially controversial. Critics argue that rap music is often fictional or hyperbolized, and treating bars as literal confessions misunderstands the entire genre's artistic conventions. This practice disproportionately affects rap artists, particularly those in drill music, where violent imagery is part of the style rather than necessarily an admission of real acts. And that controversy is at the heart of Durk's legal battles. To really understand how it all escalated, we need to rewind to the first murder-for-hire case in LA and the game-changing motion his legal team recently filed, arguing that key evidence against him is demonstrably false. A deep dive into Lil Durk's charges. In the world of rap, few names are as synonymous with the streets of Chicago as Lil Durk's. Known for blending hard-hitting lyrics with raw emotion, Durk has carved out a niche that positions him both as an artist and, to some, a symbol of resilience. Yet beneath the music lies a web of legal trouble that has now ensnared him in a serious federal investigation. The recent indictment against Durk, real name Durk Banks, sheds light on a world far removed from the recording studio, one where alliances, vendettas, and betrayal shape a narrative that reads like a thriller. The roots of Durk's legal troubles date back to 2020, when a highly publicized feud erupted between Durk's rap collective, Only the Family, OTF, and rival faction. This feud took on new intensity after the murder of Davon Bennett, also known as King Von, who was not only an OTF artist, but also Durk's close friend. King Von's death ignited a vendetta between OTF and a rival rapper known as Quando Rondo, who was rumored to be connected to Von's killer. The indictment against Durk alleges that this feud boiled over to the point where he sought to eliminate his adversary, Quando Rondo, by any means necessary. Witnesses and confidential sources have told investigators that Durk allegedly put a bounty on Quando Rondo's life, determined to see the feud end with his rival's demise. This bounty would set off a chain of events leading to a brutal scene at a Los Angeles gas station, and eventually to a federal investigation. On August 19, 2022, tragedy struck when a hail of bullets erupted at a gas station near the Beverly Center in Los Angeles. Surveillance footage, police reports, and witness accounts reveal that 3 masked gunmen opened fire on a black Cadillac Escalade occupied by Quando Rondo and his family members. Quando Rondo escaped, but his cousin, identified in court documents as SR, Saviaya Lulpab Robinson, was fatally struck in the barrage of gunfire. Police recovered 18 shell casings at the scene, a testament to the sheer violence of the attack. Durk's name emerged as a central figure in the investigation when it became clear that this wasn't a random act of gang violence. Law enforcement discovered connections that pointed to meticulous planning, allegedly orchestrated by Durk and members of his OTF circle. The financial records unearthed by investigators depict a carefully orchestrated plot, with funds from Durk's organization allegedly used to bankroll the hit. According to the affidavit, bank and flight records revealed that several key OTF members, including individuals identified as co-conspirator 2 and co-conspirator 3, traveled to California on August 18, 2022, just one day before the shooting. Records indicate these flights were paid for using an American Express card linked to Durk and OTF. Investigators further uncovered text messages sent between Durk and his co-conspirators. In one message, Durk allegedly cautioned co-conspirator 3, advising him, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with SIGME," a directive meant to minimize any paper trail that could tie Durk directly to the operation. Moreover, surveillance footage captured the movements of two white vehicles, a BMW and an Infiniti, that shadowed Quando Rondo's Escalade throughout Los Angeles. These cars were later linked to Durk's co-conspirators, who had flown in from Chicago for the purpose of carrying out the hit. The brazen attack at the gas station, however, did not go unnoticed. Federal and local law enforcement intensified their surveillance of Durk and his associates, leading to a sweeping series of arrests on October 24, 2024. By then, 5 individuals, identified as OTF members and known gang associates from Chicago, were in custody. These men included Kevin Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and Asa Houston, all of whom were charged with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. As the FBI closed in, they learned of Durk's own attempts to flee. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, he booked 3 separate international flights within hours of his associates' arrests. The destinations, Dubai, Switzerland, and Italy, were strategic, as each would complicate U.S. authorities' ability to pursue extradition. But the FBI apprehended him before he could board any of the flights, sealing his fate and cementing the legal case that would soon come to light. The investigation cast a harsh light on OTF, the collective that Durk has helmed as both a rap group and a symbol of Chicago's street culture. However, the indictment accuses OTF of operating as more than a music collective. In law enforcement's view, OTF is described as an association in fact, effectively functioning as a criminal syndicate engaged in activities ranging from assault to murder. According to federal documents, members are expected to follow Durk's directives, with violence allegedly serving as a means of maintaining their ranks and reputation within the group. Court documents reveal that co-conspirator 3, an OTF member, was allegedly instrumental in organizing the logistics of the murder for hire plot. From securing travel and lodging to acquiring equipment for the hit, he acted as a coordinator, with finances provided through OTF's American Express accounts. Durk himself was present in California in the days leading up to the shooting, staying in a rental house in Encino alongside key members of the OTF circle. Records show that co-conspirator 3 arranged flights, accommodations, and rental vehicles, all purportedly on behalf of Durk and OTF, thus tightening the web of evidence that prosecutors would eventually build around the rapper. Still, amid the layers of evidence and mounting charges, a new revelation emerged that would rock Durk's defense. Within the tight-knit OTF circle, there are rumors of betrayal from a trusted affiliate who, for years, had operated in the shadows of Durk's inner circle, but also at the same time providing information to the feds. Hints of betrayal in the OTF. In the rap game, loyalty is everything, or so it seems. But Lil Durk's world has been flipped by betrayal from inside his own crew, OTF, only the family, exposing cracks that nobody saw coming. With his recent indictment on murder for hire charges, the rumors are now reality. Someone close to Durk, a trusted member, has been working with the feds, slipping insider information about OTF's moves and setting up a case against the rapper himself. If you listen closely to Lil Durk's lyrics, he's been signaling about loyalty and watching his back for a while. Songs like Pellicode and Risky are full of coded messages, tales of friends flipping, and lines that suggest a lurking danger within his circle. These weren't just street tales, they were warnings. Even as Durk climbed the charts and gained fame, he seemed haunted by the thought that someone close might betray him. The current charges and allegations make these lyrics hit differently, revealing that Durk might have felt the betrayal coming but didn't know just how close it would strike. 50 Cent, a rap legend with his own share of industry beef and betrayal stories, saw something was off with OTF, and he didn't hold back about it. During a recent interview on The Breakfast Club, 50 recalled the advice he'd given Lil Durk as the murder for Hire case started heating up. Just watch your crew. The two had worked together on Power Powder Respect, the theme song for Power Book 4, Force, a spin-off set in Chicago. As they collaborated on the 2022 project, 50 sensed an energy within OTF that raised red flags. I was like, yo, this is them. Just watch them. His crew, 50 said in the interview. It wasn't just a casual warning. It was a gut feeling from someone who's seen how entourages can turn deadly. According to 50, Durk responded by saying that something strange had already happened.
When you said that to Durk, what was his response to you?
He said, you know what? He said, somebody just came in my house. How do they know exactly what the address is? I don't give my address to nobody.
The incident planted even more doubt in Durk's mind, especially after his Brazelton, Georgia home was broken into in 2021 while he and his then-girlfriend India Royale were inside. They escaped unharmed, but the fact that people knew his location bothered Durk. The breaking point? This sense of betrayal wasn't just speculation, it was reality. For 50, it was deja vu, reminding him of his own days when he watched his crew closely, questioning their moves. I've always had that energy myself in the middle of everything going on, he explained, hinting that Durk might need to take a similar stance to protect himself. He even joked, if you got pulled over and you're not in jail, why are you not in jail? The message was clear. Something in Durk's camp didn't add up. The rumors point to one man in particular, OTF Jam. Known as a longtime OTF member, Jam had spent over a decade in prison on an attempted murder charge, a crime that supposedly cemented his loyalty to the crew. But since his release in 2022, whispers grew that Jam had flipped, wearing a wire for federal agents and feeding them information on OTF's activities. It's not just hearsay. Sources say Jam allegedly provided direct evidence linking Durk to a murder for hire plot aimed at rapper Rondo, real name Tyken Bowman. According to Chicago rapper King Yella, Jam even implicated Durk in the killing of Lil Pop, Rondo's cousin, a hit supposedly done in retaliation for the murder of King Von, an OTF member and close friend of Durk. What started as a bond among street brothers quickly unraveled into one of the biggest betrayals the rap game has seen. In the aftermath, hip-hop insiders and fans alike started piecing together the mystery. A video featuring DJ Academics and Chicago-based reporter Trench's News added fuel to the fire. In the video, Academics discussed rumors that Jam's baby mama had reached out to Durk for help with legal bills, asking for a lawyer. When Durk supposedly brushed off the call, Jam felt slighted, interpreting it as a sign of disrespect. "You're not supposed to brush off my call when I need something," Jam reportedly said, furious that Durk wasn't showing loyalty in return. Trench's News confirmed the story, saying, "That's facts," suggesting that Jam's bitterness toward Durk might have played a role in his decision to cooperate with the feds. In another shocking twist, Wack 100, a music industry heavyweight, weighed in on Jam's street-to-snitch transformation. Wack 100 recounted how Jam had once seemed like a solid, street-loyal guy who did his time without a word, a reputation that earned him respect. He did 12 years, got out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him $50,000, made mention that ain't no smudge on his name, he ain't never been a rat, caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped, Wack recalled. Jam's information wasn't just casual talk. He allegedly gave the feds a playbook, a full breakdown of OTF's moves. The indictment reveals that Durk and his crew used coded messages to plan the murder for hire. Durk reportedly texted co-conspirator 3, telling him to be careful about booking flights under certain names, trying to keep the operation clean. The indictment even described how flights, hotel rooms, and rental cars were financed with OTF's credit cards, booked under aliases, and moved around to keep a low profile. Surveillance footage showed OTF affiliates tailing Rondo in Los Angeles, leading up to the hit that left Lil Pab dead. But none of this was enough to throw Jam off the scent. Allegedly wearing a wire and documenting everything, Jam gave authorities a blueprint of OTF's movements, down to the details of which cars were rented and which flights were booked. Every move, every transaction, and every conversation Jam recorded fed into the case that finally came crashing down on Durk and OTF. DJ Jerry, Jam reminisced about his early days with Durk, describing how Durk's music kept him grounded during his 12-year stint in prison. "I remember Durk was making rap songs for our parties," he shared, painting a picture of Durk as someone who uplifted his people, a leader who kept OTF together. "That was bro. Back before the fame and the money, he made a way for me to be straight." Jam described the good times, moments that forged a brotherhood between him and Durk. Yet all of this history wasn't enough to keep Jam loyal. Rumor has it that his flip happened after Durk didn't show him the loyalty he felt he deserved. Maybe he felt overlooked or disrespected, but whatever the reason, Jam made his choice. And that choice left Durk open to one of the harshest betrayals in the rap world. In addition to the heartbreak of being betrayed by someone he considered a dear friend, Lil Durk will need to fight for a future that at present isn't looking great due to the developments since his arrest. What the future holds for Lil Durk. Lil Durk's recent arrest has rocked his career and brought a wave of rumors and speculation, especially on TikTok, which erupted with talk that the Chicago rapper could face the electric chair. Some TikTok users, like at Indecisive Quan, posted memes and comments claiming that Durk's fate was sealed, saying things like, YB in jail, Thug in jail, Durk getting the electric chair, who the f we going to listen to now? The post went viral, fueling concerns and sparking debates among Durk's fans and the hip-hop community. Let's get one thing clear right from the jump. Lil Durk isn't facing the electric chair. The rumors might make good talking points, but there's no official word or court ruling that suggests Durk is looking at the death penalty. In fact, the reality is far from it. While fans might be worried about Durk's fate, California, where Durk's facing the charge, hasn't used the electric chair for years. Back in 2006, federal courts ruled against capital punishment, and Governor Gavin Newsom placed a full moratorium on the death penalty in 2019. So no, Durk isn't facing execution, despite what TikTok may say. Durk's legal troubles have triggered a cascade of fallout. Just a week before his arrest, the village of Broadview in Illinois gave him an honorary key to the city, recognizing his contributions through his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation. But once news of his arrest hit, the honor was swiftly revoked. Broadview's mayor, Katrina Thompson, didn't hold back, saying, while the American system of justice grants everyone the presumption of innocence, in the village of Broadview, the court of public opinion has even higher moral and ethical standards. To protect the village's reputation, they cut ties with Durk and his foundation. For Durk, this revocation wasn't just symbolic, it was a hard hit to the image he's been working to build. The Neighborhood Heroes Foundation has been a big part of his push to show a different side of himself, the side that's about giving back and being a positive influence. But in the court of public opinion, especially with these serious charges looming, that good image is hanging by a thread. The ripples of Durk's arrest go deeper than just fan speculation and revoked honors. Durk has also been making moves in Chicago's political scene, especially with his recent $150,000 donation to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's political committee. Given Durk's arrest, many have questioned if the mayor should give back the donation, but Mayor Johnson, when asked, chose his words carefully, refusing to rush to judgment. You're asking me to make a judgment on a black man before a full trial has actually come to fruition. I hope you do understand why it is not mine. Mayor Johnson's response highlights a deeper issue in Chicago politics and hip-hop's influence on the city. Durk has been more than just a musician. He's been a community figure, even meeting with Johnson twice before making the donation. Durk's future might now depend on whether he can hold on to these political alliances, or if those ties start to unravel. Lil Durk's career has been a balancing act between his street image and his push for community change. He's no stranger to legal trouble, but this recent charge is the most serious yet. Durk has tried to shift his image over the years. In his 2023 Grammy-winning song All My Life, he raps about wanting to change the image, hinting at a future where he's more than just a street rapper. He's launched events, partnered with big names like Bank of America, and used his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation to bring attention to financial literacy and social issues in Chicago. But this latest case could derail all of that. While his fans are still in his corner, public figures and institutions might hesitate to continue backing him, especially with the stakes so high. Durk's path forward now depends on whether he can beat these charges or if he's destined for a long uphill legal battle. For more content like this, click on the videos showing on your screen now.